Alrighty, let's get started. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, Rebani Gift. Please correct me if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Good morning, good morning. Thanks for tuning in. Back with the live streams, January 17th. Yesterday was a bank holiday, so the markets were closed. But we are back and ready. Please let me know if the music is too loud in the back or if I'm too loud. Like I said, I don't have moderators at the moment, so I need to double check if everything's good to go. So give me 1 second. All right, I should be good. Alrighty, so there is a new series coming out sometime this week. We're doing the 100 to 1,000, either quarter one or it's just going to be yearly. So I have my spreadsheet right here. I'm probably going to make another spreadsheet like this for FTMO part 2. Well, this is probably one of the best journals I've ever made so far. So we have the date, the time, the pair, entry type, order type, lot size, news, trade one, wins, break even, losses, and then it has profit percentages. So this is actually really good. So we're going to do this yearly, and we're going to see what we can make out of the series. It's going to be 100 to 1,000. So news, January 17th. There's a lot going on this morning. So 8:30, we have CPI, which is pretty good. I'm not going to be live during 8:30. I'm probably going to be getting ready for classes, but I will continue to send out analysis and updates. So we have 8:30 news for CAD. We have ESO. I don't even know what this means, but we have something on Euro that's happening all day, but it's pretty it's not as volatile. So moving on, we have BOJ Outlook Report, Monetary Policy Statement, JPY. So CPI, why traders care consumer prices account for a majority of overall inflation. Inflation is important to currency valuation because rising prices lead a central bank and raise interest rates out of respect for their inflation containment mandate. So whenever you guys are reading up on news, if you guys don't understand why people look at it, you just simply click that folder. It's going to give you all the information. And then it tells you what it stands for. So CPI is Consumer Price Index. Probably one of my favorite news announcements or news events, only because it usually respects your technical analysis and you can find really good moves that are volatile. So CPI is good. CPI is like the better version of NFP, except it's not every Friday of the first month. So that's happening at 8:30. Like I said, I'm not going to be live. I'm going to end this at around 8 o'clock. But if you're in the Discord, I will send out chart analysis. And then on FX Street, let's go ahead and look at our other fundamentals. So here we have gold edges lower amid firmer US dollar. Downside seems limited. Gold price edges lower for the second successive day on Tuesday and moves further away from its highest level since April. Gold remains depressed heading into the European session. So a lot of people ask me how I read news. I'll make another updated video for the year because it's been a minute. But basically, when you guys read news, it's not going to tell you if price is going to sell or buy, because if it did, everyone would be rich by now. Honestly, it'd be too easy. So news primarily gives you the perspective of what people are looking at from a fundamental analysis, from an economic perspective. So whatever's happening around the world, a lot of investors are kind of doing their research to kind of what's the best way to say this? Shift the perspective of what these pairs are going to do in the future. So whenever you read up on these announcements, you can get small hints like this, right? So reading this sentence at the bottom, the gold remains depressed. You know, when you hear depressed, what do you think of? Buy or sell? Well, if we come to the chart, you can clearly see that gold is moving down right now, right? From yesterday. So this is a 1 hour, right? We can go in the 2 hour as well, or even we can go in the daily. So the daily time frame clearly shows us that gold is pushing down, right? It's depressed, so it's going down. So I usually take those small hints, I combine it with whatever I'm looking at on Forex Factory. I'm trying to figure out what these fundamental analysis are trying to tell me. So gold is pushing down, and we can actually call this the daily support or resistance. My bad. Resistance. So we'll put this right here. And we can clearly see price is pushing down, right? And then I have this minor zone marked up. So if we're using TDA top-down analysis, of course, gold is pushing down, so we're looking for a retracement. If we want to catch a continuation, this is what we're looking for this morning, a retracement. So moving down the 4 hour, I'm simply marking up my zone. So we can have this nice demand around here. Looking at the 2 hour, you can clearly see that price is pushing off of the zone. We can use this wick as a confirmation. Let's go on the 1 hour. Clearly see that the market is forming a gap. So that's probably today's focus. Going back to the daily time frame again, we're simply looking for the retracement of price to continue this bullish trend. So let's go ahead and mark this up. And notice how when I scale down, everything looks more clear, right? So of course, when you're using TDA, you're looking for the overall perspective of price. But as you scale in, you can clearly see that the market is about to form some sort of gap right here. We have another touch right here. And I covered this last week with candlesticks, but this is actually a morning star, right? It's also a doji wicking off of the zone. So you can use this as a confirmation. Candlestick patterns in general are used for confirmations off of what you already have marked up on your technical analysis, right? So we have all this going on, and then we come down here. Notice how this candlestick is wicking off of our pre-analysis. So we use it as a confirmation saying, hey, okay, so we have this bias. This candlestick is also wicking off of this demand. So this should work, right? It's all about high probability. And I think we're gonna wrap up candlesticks this week. So this is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We'll talk about let's see, where are we at? So last week was there were no live streams last week because I was getting ready for school. I think we left off on the Morning Star, if I'm correct. I'd have to double check, but we're gonna try to finish the candlestick patterns by this week so that we move on to market structure. And then by February, we should be advancing to Naked Forex. That's a really good book. My goal is Q1, we're going to talk more about candlesticks in retail concepts. And then at the end of Q1, hopefully we can dive more into fundamental analysis. And then as I'm reading, because I just picked up a book, I talked about it in my last video. As I'm reading the, what is this called? The Market Wizard. What is it called? Hold on. I have it right here, guys. Trading in the Zone. I'm sorry. As I'm finishing up that book, we can dive into psychology at the end of Q1, because psychology is super important. But the order is going to be retail, smart money, and fundamentals, and then psychology. That's what I want to try to cover in Q1. Let me go ahead and send this to Discord real quick. Give me a second, guys. me go ahead and type this here again so you guys aren't confused about that yellow line. Daily resistance, right? Yep. Put that right here. So if you guys saw my last video on FTMO, like I mentioned, I'm probably going to restart that whole phase and documentary in February. And then we have a new series coming out this year. YouTube videos are coming back. I have been posting a lot of short format content on Instagram and YouTube. Just trying to get used to that before I come back. But definitely going to be doing more videos on finance, not just Forex, but finance videos coming out, because it's been like 2 months since I really was consistent with those type of videos, you know, doing research and putting real time and effort into those videos instead of the short-term content I've been doing. So I will be returning with that sometime this month before February, and then we're going to start a new series, which I'm pretty excited for. But in the meantime, I'm going to be going live Monday to Thursday, and then I'm gonna be returning the recap videos. So I'm gonna be coming back with those on my own trading capital, just posting on YouTube so you guys can see how I trade as well when I'm not live. For those of you guys just tuning in, good morning. Hope you guys are having a good start of the year and week. Yesterday was a bank holiday, by the way, guys, which is why I wasn't live. And also, you guys need to keep in mind that whenever there's a bank holiday, the next day usually tends to be choppy. So notice how my only focus today is gold, because on these other pairs, like we look at euro, the market is pretty choppy. So this is the 30-minute. We can look at AUD, USD. Any USD pair is kind of choppy this morning, but today's focus is just going to be gold. What's good with Good Steez? How's it going, man? Hope you're having a good day. Good morning. I think you were the one that asked me about FTMO. Just dropped the video, bro. Phase 2. Let me know what you think. But thanks for tuning in. This stream's going to be pretty chill this morning. There's not too much going on. I think I'm going to resume the workshops tomorrow morning. Really depends where we're at. But it's going to be very slow because after a bank holiday, the markets tend to be choppy. So the only thing I'm looking at this morning is gold, which is definitely okay. But we're just waiting, okay? So again, for you guys just joining in, this morning we have CPI, which is absolutely fantastic. I'm not going to be live then, but I will be sending chart analysis while I'm in class because I will have to get ready for school. This morning, all we have is CPI on CAD pairs. We have news on USD, Empire State Manufacturing Index, and then later we have news happening on GPY. And of course, if you guys are confused, if you're new, if you guys want information on what all this is, you simply just come to the right, click on this folder, and it's going to give you all the information you need. So why traders care? I'll just read it again. Consumer prices account for a majority of overall inflation. Inflation is important to currency valuation because rising prices lead the central bank to raise interest rates out of respect for their inflation containment mandate. All right. So that kind of summarized why it's important. And of course, it gives you the name. So if you guys want the full name for CPI, it's just Consumer Price Index. Very simple. Me personally, I love CPI. I always trade CPI. If you guys watch my FTMO Phase 1 documentary, it's actually how I passed. It was like my last trade. It was on CPI. It was after the elections too. So it was pretty funny. I might clip that moment up. That's a moment I'll never forget. We're going to wait for gold to drop just a little bit. Hopefully we can catch this nice market gap for a continuation. Simple setup. Simply going off of this daily resistance. Price is pushing down. Simply taking this perspective on FX Street. Gold prices edges lower for the second successive day on Tuesday and moves further away from its highest level since April. Gold remains depressed heading into the European session. So when I read this, it's telling me that gold is pushing down, obviously. I'm also using another website, which also gives me the sentiment of gold. And right now there's a lot of selling pressure. So gold is currently going to sell. And we're going to wait until it hits this nice demand zone to catch that bullish continuation. Very simple setup. We're using a lot of candlesticks for confirmations as we went over last week. So last week we talked about evening stars, morning stars, dojis, wicks, and how you incorporate that into your technical analysis. So this blue arrow, I'm simply using this confirmation right here as the market kind of made a small gap, and then we had a wick push off of this nice demand. So candlesticks can be used as confirmations off of your technical analysis. So because we have this wick right here and we have all this traffic, right, this bullish traffic, we can wait for price to come back and make another touch right here to enter in for a buy. Hopefully that makes sense. So we have about 10 more minutes. We're going to wait for the next 30-minute interval. I'll look at some other pairs, but for today's focus is just going to be gold. So we'll give it 10 more minutes and we can look at other pairs. So yeah, this morning, last 30 minutes, we might look at some candlestick Bible stuff. We might, but if not, we're just gonna move it to tomorrow. since today is the day after a bank holiday. But we're simply just going to wait. Hopefully we can find a move on gold. See, here's a really good example. Euro USD, look how choppy price is right now. So we're kind of in this nice phase of consolidation, and we're just simply going to wait for a breakout using the box method, right? Either breaking out from the upside right here, finding a retracement, or breaking from the bottom, right? Grabbing this liquidity and then continuing down, finding another major zone of demand. So that's probably the best way to trade price when it's kind of choppy like this. You don't really know what price is doing. Simply wait for a breaker structure and then catch a retracement. That is the easiest way to look at consolidation, guys. Just simply box up price where you see the most touches, and then box it in like this where you see the most touches from the bottom, and just wait for a breakout. Because at some point, right, there has to be some sort of impulsive move to the upside or downside, because you guys have to think about it. When there's a lot of touches, when prices are making bottoms or tops, people are hopping in aggressively in the market. We have scalpers. So when we have scalpers, they're generating a lot of liquidity, either from the downside, right? Right here, people are buying aggressively. They're buying right here, right? And they're also buying right here. So when people are buying and buying, it's accumulating a lot of liquidity from the bottom. So what do I mean? Liquidity being from your entry to your stop loss. Eventually, that has to be taken. So what happens when there's a lot of liquidity being formed from the bottom or the top? In this example, the bottom, there has to be a liquidity grab. And usually that happens fast. So price grabs liquidity, right? And it has a retracement. It has an exhaust phase. And after it has a liquidity grab and retracement, usually 9 times out of 10, it has a continuation. So this would be a bearish continuation down to the next zone of support or zone of demand, if that makes sense. So box and price, wait for a breaker structure, liquidity grab, and then find that retracement. This example can be applied to the upside. The same thing, just vice versa, okay? So it'd probably be like this. Just like that, right? You have a breaker structure to the upside. It grabs all this right here that's floating at the bottom or the top. So we can place this right here. And then it has a retracement off of that box and has a bullish continuation to the nearest supply or resistance. Just like that. Hopefully that makes sense. I might make another video. I made a video last year on the box strategy, but I might make an updated version because this is a really useful strategy. When you see price consolidating like this, a lot of people don't know what to do. Simply just be patient, wait for a breaker structure, and then take advantage of that retracement. So we have about 4 more minutes. We're gonna check back on gold and see what we can find. But in the meantime, I'll be right back. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask away. And I will see you guys in a minute. All right, so basically, guys, you can clearly see that price is starting to make its halfway mark here, and a lot of people are going to be looking for buys. Me personally, I want to try to look for the best setup for a nice reversal. So notice how I marked at 50%, because on the daily, if you place the fib, this would be technically the halfway point that people are looking for, the golden zone, right? And what I just highlighted, could be known as a fake out. So price is melting down. I want price to close below this 50% mark and continue down, filling up all of this traffic. So notice how we have all these bullish candles that I like to call traffic, and it did fill this 50% level, but I want the rest to be filled right here, coming back down to this nice demand zone before pushing up in the market. That's what I'm looking for, guys. Hopefully that makes sense. And this is how I usually catch those 200, 150 pip moves that I used to be catching on a daily basis. I will simply look for the best setup. So yes, this could be a good setup for a buy, simply pushing off that 50%. But I want price to melt all the way down to catch a strong bullish reversal, so we can catch a huge move. And I might bring back like stream daily recap videos I was doing on Instagram a year ago, so you guys can see it in real time as well. Catching those 100, 200 pip moves on gold, that would honestly set me up for the week as well. I think I said daily. I meant to say weekly. I'm sorry, guys. These weekly setups. Because I would honestly take them and then be good for a week. So hopefully price has a continuation to the downside. And then we can catch this nice move right here throughout the day. This is probably gonna go into CPI. Because this is gonna take some time to fluctuate. But as long as I explain the analysis, you guys can have this set up as well. Because CPI is gonna happen in 2 hours, yeah. This is probably still gonna be going on for a minute, which is okay. We might talk about some candlesticks this morning. So do you guys see how that's a 50% level? And I didn't draw this fib before placing that 50% level. It's because when you're experienced and you've been trading for a minute, you can just automatically see that level. You don't have to place a fib. So I don't use fibs anymore just because I can clearly see what price is doing. But if you did want to place that right from the bottom to the top, you can clearly see, like in the 50% level, the golden zone, 50% or 61%, 62%, you can round it up. This is where a majority of traders will look for a continuation, right? A bullish continuation, because price is at that golden zone, right? But the thing is with fibs, you need to have previous structure, right? So in order for this to be a bullish continuation, we need to have some past structure indicating that. And on the 2 hour, gold has been pretty sloppy. So it doesn't look as clean. So what happens, a lot of people use this retail concept, Fibonacci, right? And they place their bias at that 50% level. And then those banks, those investors, they take advantage of what those retail traders see, of what we see in the market on a daily time frame or daily consistent rate. So because we have that 50% bias, people are buying and buying and buying, and it's accumulating a lot of liquidity to the point where price might have a breakout. So me personally, I'm trying to take that flip side. I want all of these people to take out all these retail traders and melt down or have a continuation to that nearest demand to catch a bigger move. So we're going to wait for price to melt down to this level right here so we can catch a bigger move. Because yes, this could be a move right here, right? This could be a move, a continuation, but I'd rather wait for price to melt down even further so we have zero drawdown or zero risk. So we can see something like this, right? Which would be well over 150 pips. Like that. So this would be like 220 pips. This is how I catch these big moves, guys. I just simply wait for the bigger fish. And again, guys, everything is recorded. So if you miss out on these live streams, I will be posting clips on Instagram. But I do appreciate everyone that's here this morning. Hope you guys are having a good week and a good morning. I appreciate you guys. And again, if you guys are going to be consistent this year, I am looking for moderators for my streams. I'm looking for moderators. So you guys can DM me on Instagram. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and finish typing out all of my, what's it called? Not my analysis, but I guess everything that I'm looking at that I explained so you guys can see exactly, you guys can understand the concept, I guess. So this is going to be demand, right? Demand zone. And this is on the 1 hour. So 1 hour time frame. Waiting for clean closure to the downside. Okay. And then we can say, what's the best way to explain this? So how I explained this before, basically, guys, when you see a lot of bullish momentum or bearish momentum, it's accumulating a lot of traffic. Okay. So basically, when you see those setups, 9 times out of 10, it has to have retracement or it's going to have a fill. So it's going to fill in price eventually. So price is going to go into another range, right? This being range 1, this being range 2, before coming back. So price it's more than likely going to come back into this range and fill all this remaining traffic, if that makes sense. So let me go ahead and delete that because I don't want too much on my chart. It's going to be way too confusing for the average trader. So let me delete all this and just say, what's the best way to explain this in text? I'll say I'll just say bullish. Okay. I really don't want to use the word traffic because I know a lot of people are going to be confused, but I'll say bullish traffic fill. And then parentheses 100%. Hopefully this isn't confusing. I might have to make a whole YouTube video about this. I probably will this week. Yeah, probably will. Let me send this out. I gotta send this to Telegram too. So like I said, this is all about high probability, right? You guys could catch a buy right here at this 50% level. Personally, it's just not how I trade. When I see market gaps like this, I want to try to find the biggest move, right? So this could be a nice 100 pip move, which is pretty fine. Or if it retraces to that 50% for that bearish fib, it'd be a nice 60 pip move or 50 pip move. But what I'm waiting for is for price to come back into this range, right? Being our original range, this will be range 2, and fill all this remaining traffic heading towards our demand to catch an even bigger move, right? This would be over 150 pips. So there's no wrong way to trade. You guys can hop in for buys if you trade like this, but I do not trade like this when I see a bigger opportunity. This would be more aggressive. So if you guys are more aggressive, you could catch a nice buy right now and wait for price to have a break of structure, or just simply be patient since it is Tuesday. You know, this is going to be going on for the whole week, guaranteed. Worst case scenario, price pushes all the way up past range 2, and then we look for a break of structure for range 3. Very, very simple. That's why I love trading gold, because you guys can see simple setups like this to the point where it all makes sense. So you can just be patient. Just wait for price to go to your designated area. Very, very simple. And organize your ranges. That's all you have to do. Wait for breakouts. If price is consolidating, wait for a break of structure. If price is ranging, wait for a break of structure. Just wait. It's a waiting game. In this example, we're just waiting for a closure to the downside so that we can catch this nice filling to catch a nice continuation to the upside. So I explained everything and I wrote it on my chart. And the reason why I don't have it posted on a daily basis is because notice how when I have all this stuff in my chart, things start to get more complicated, right? Which is why traders prefer a naked chart when there's just nothing on the chart and you're trading with what you already know in the market off of price action. You know, a lot of people, they're trying to write in all these markings, and you're already missing setups because you're so focused on drawing on your chart, which is why most traders don't use indicators anymore, because indicators is going to blind you from what you really should be looking at, you know? So we have about 50 more minutes. We're going to see what happens at 7 o'clock. And at 7:30, I'm still not sure if I want to do a free workshop. If not, I'm just going to push it to tomorrow. Now, if we wanted to be aggressive, what we could do as well is place a sell stop for that continuation before it hits our demand, and then we can place a buy limit at this zone right here. So we can also catch two setups, a sell and a buy, if I wanted to be aggressive. But we'll see what happens at 7 o'clock. I do want to clear something up because I've had a lot of questions about my website. So it is down at the moment only because I'm not really focused this year on selling stuff. A lot of people haven't asked me about like courses and stuff. And honestly, guys, I'm not too focused on selling anything off my website. I'm really just focused on doing live streams and recap videos, just building up that foundation and doing free content. So that's going to be down for a minute. I'm not sure when I'm going to bring it back, but when I'm ready, I will. I don't think I want to focus on that this year, you know, on selling stuff. Especially if I'm not funded, you know. How about we wait until we are certified to sell stuff? So we have Q1 and Q4. I talked about it in my last video. We're going to be doing the second attempt in February, probably the first week. If not, we're just going to wait till Q4. There's no rush. What's up, SD? How you doing? Hope you're having a good morning. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you're starting your year right. I looked at your story. You've been killing it. Keep up the good work. Sometimes it doesn't seem noticeable, but people are paying attention. I'm seeing your progression. Keep it up. I'm proud of you. Before you know it, you're going to be 3 years in. Again, guys, we have news at 8:30, so I'm not going to be live, but I will be sending the chart analysis in Discord. And everything will be recorded. So if you're tuning in and hopping out, that's perfectly fine. I'm going to record everything and clip up the most valuable parts from my live streams. But in the meantime, I appreciate everyone that's tuning in. Hope you guys are having a good morning. Again, I'm looking for moderators for the year. This week, I'm going to be live Tuesday and Thursday. But today's going to be pretty chill as it is post bank holiday. The markets are pretty slow. The only focus I have right now is on gold. I explained my setup already. I'll have the analysis in Discord as well. But if you guys want to analyze a pair, feel free to type it in or send your chart analysis, and we can also review that as well. 2 eyes are better than 1. So we have about 10 more minutes. You guys can ask questions or simply just wait with me as we wait for that next hour interval. Gold is pushing up. If you guys are hopping in for buys, that's perfectly fine. Personally, I'm going to wait until we have that bullish filling to catch that nice demand entry. So again, I'm gonna visually write it out so people can see. People are hopping in right here at the 50% level, which is perfectly fine, guys. You know, a lot of people might be asking, why am I not hopping in? Because I'm gonna wait for the bigger move. Me personally, because I like to set myself up for the week. So on gold, if you guys remember those recap videos I was posting last year, how I would catch those 200 pip moves, I would simply wait for the bigger fish. Very simply put, I could be aggressive, but price is already pushing up, which is perfectly fine. I'm gonna be patient for this setup. We're gonna wait for that breaker structure and for price to dip down at this demand so we can catch a bigger move to the upside. Because this right here is like a 50 pip move. If we're going to that nearest resistance, right here. Or if it passes TP1, the TP2 would be about 120 pips. But if price melts down further, right, this would be over 200 pips, or at that resistance 150. So this is literally what I would do. Same method on every type of setup I see on gold. I would wait for that bigger push in the market so that we can catch those higher moves, and this would set me up for the week. I'm showing up every day, even if I'm not making no money at the moment, but it's still out of love. I appreciate you for real. Again, it's all about education. As long as you're learning something from my lives, I feel like I'm doing my job. Can you check AUD USD? Yeah, I will in a minute. But most definitely. You know, there's going to be times where I don't catch setups, and if I'm explaining something like this, if you guys hop in and catch a move like this, that's awesome. As long as my analysis makes sense, as long as you're comfortable knowing my confirmations as well. Because there have been times where I miss setups, but then there are times where I hop in and people miss out. But at the end of the day, it's all about education, guys. Because the more confidence, the more execution, and then you'll be at the point where you don't have to join anyone's live and you can just trade. That's the objective, for you guys to be independent, so you guys don't have to rely on anybody, including myself. Okay, we have about 7 more minutes. I can't check AUD USD, but like I mentioned at the very beginning, every time it's a bank holiday. So yesterday the markets were closed. It was a bank holiday, MLK Day. Basically, the next day tends to be choppy or price usually consolidating until the middle of the week. So the 50% move is happening. Again, if you're in the daily time frame using top-down analysis, you can clearly see that price was pushing down for some time after it hit our daily resistance, and we went over some fundamentals explaining why price is pushing down, which I might go over again. But usually when you have a lot of bullish traffic like this, traders, they're looking for a retracement. So using TDA, we're just simply pushing down to our other time frames. People are placing their Fibonacci retracement tool, and they're at that 50% level right now, hopping in for buys, which is perfectly fine, right? If I were to place a fib right here, right, from the bottom of this bullish candle to the top, our 50% level would be around this area. So people are hopping in for this continuation. I'm simply playing devil's advocate, guys. I'm playing devil's advocate, waiting for price to fail. I want price to fail so that we can catch a bigger move. We can use this market gap to our advantage. That's what I'm doing this morning. Is it ideal? Not exactly, because most people will just trade this fib, but I'm trying to find the bigger move so I can set myself up for the week, if that makes sense. If this was any other pair, if I was trading like Euro USD, or if I was trading GJ or any other currency, I probably would use this concept off bat and just trade. But because it's gold and it's more volatile, I usually like to catch the bigger moves. And I have a lot of setups like this on certain playlists on my channel. If you guys go to my live trading, NFP, my recap videos, this is the same concept I use to catch those 200 pip moves. So I just wait for price to fail, okay? All right, so you say, can I check AUD USD? Yeah. Okay, AUD USD, let's see. So starting the daily time frame, we can clearly see that price had a nice break of structure right here. So we can say this is range 1, and then we say this is range 2, right? So if anything, we're waiting for price to hit this newly formed demand, right? Because it had this nice break of structure. Now we're waiting for a retracement for a possible continuation. That's the first thing I saw on AUD USD, I'm sorry. So let's go ahead and scale down. Let's go ahead and delete this. Knowing that we have two ranges because we have this split right here. And why is this a break of structure? Because look, price is clearly wicking off right here. So we have these double tops right here. So let's just pretend, okay, I need to upgrade my trading view. I think it expired yesterday, but let's just pretend price was right here, okay? So before price even went into our second range, let's pretend price is right here. A lot of traders would be selling because it's forming a double top. So this is why you know it's a range. It's a clear range because price is reacting off of this supply. And then it has a break of structure, and then what does it do? It reacts off that newly formed demand. It pushes up, and now we're waiting for another touch. That's how I was able to separate those ranges. Hopefully that makes sense, okay? So once you identify your ranges and you have your supply and demand, you're simply waiting for that retracement to catch a continuation, or you're looking for price to fail, right? Like the example of gold. If price doesn't hold, what does it do? It fails. So you're waiting for price to fail to go back into what? Range 1. Those are your two high probability setups, okay? Or your two biases, not high probability. It doesn't make any sense. If you have any questions, you can ask them as well. But let's continue. So 4 hour. Let's see what's happening. Gold is, or not gold, AU is pushing up. But we do want it to sell. We want it to sell back down to the zone, okay? So let's go ahead and put this right here. You might be asking, why is it kind of choppy? You have to remember yesterday was a bank holiday. So any pair, any USD pair, it's going to look pretty choppy like this. But we can clearly see that price did have a breakout right here. I'm going to go ahead and highlight it. Let's go ahead and put this right here. And we're going to name this BOS. BOS simply just stands for break of structure. You'll see a lot of traders use that. They'll say BOS, BOS. It just simply means break of structure. So price has a break of structure. What does that mean? Structure was this supply. We had a lot of structure right here because price is giving us our confirmations that this was a zone that price was going to hold. But it had a break of structure. It broke out of this structure. So it has a break of structure, and then what does it do? It has a retracement to our newly formed what? Demand. Because once we have a break, this supply turns into demand. You can clearly see that prices are wicking off right here. We can use this as another confirmation that price is going to hold. And what is it doing? It's pushing up. And where are we waiting again? For a retracement. We're waiting for another retracement down to our newly formed what? Demand zone. Very, very simple, right? So now we're just waiting for something like this for a continuation. So that was my analysis on AU. Hopefully that makes sense. If you have any questions, you can ask them, but it's a waiting game right now. And then you can clearly see that price is kind of consolidating right here. So you could box up price if you want, but it's not completely necessary because you already have this, right? You're just waiting for price to dip down at that zone. Again, hopefully that makes sense. One thing I want to work on, when I explain concepts, sometimes they tend to make more sense to me. And when I actually look at the clip again, I'm like, what the heck am I talking about? So if anything doesn't make any sense, you guys feel free to call me out on it and I will explain it even further. All right, so gold made a really good push. This might have been a missed opportunity, which is fine because this is probably going to play out throughout the week. I'm probably going to stick with this analysis tomorrow as well. But if you guys caught this move, that's awesome. This would have been what? That entry, this would have been a good 50 pip move, 60 pip move, depending on where you entered in. But it's definitely okay. As long as you guys understand how you missed the move as well, I think that's really important so that when you see another setup like this, you can catch it. Instead of just looking at this after the move happened and saying, oh, I missed it. But before it happens, if you guys see why people are hopping in and see the move happen in live time, then I think that's more important. Because you can catch these. This is going to happen over and over again, guys. FOMO is usually going to kick in for the average trader because they feel like they're missing out on these moves. But because I use this method over and over again and it happens over and over again, it's not the only setup we're going to see this week. So even if we miss this move, it's perfectly fine. Because again, we're waiting for a bigger push. So definitely A-okay. Plus it's the first stream of the week, so I'm not tripping. But hopefully everything that I went over made sense. So we have about 30 more minutes, and then the last 30 minutes, I'm either going to end stream early or go over candlesticks. It really depends, guys, where we're at. But we have about 20 minutes. But let me know if you guys caught this setup. If you caught this setup, let me know. Or for those that are watching this stream later today, let me know if you caught any moves on gold. And I am going to start adding timestamps on my streams as well. I think that's really important. So you guys can just skip to the best parts of the streams so that people, when they watch them later, they know exactly what to look at. That's going to be a lot, as I don't have any moderators or anyone really helping me in the moment. I'm doing everything by myself, so that is going to be an experiment that I have to work on this week. This is a really good stream so far. I'm enjoying this. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them. We're going to give it another 10 minutes. We're just going to talk about some setups, honestly. If we miss this move, I'll just go ahead and talk about some concepts. And of course, I will be clipping up these parts on YouTube or Instagram. So if you guys are hopping in and dipping out, that's perfectly fine. But for those of you that are staying and are here, I appreciate you. I hope you guys are having a good morning, and I can't wait to be consistent with this all year. All right. Let's see if anything came out. Oh, I'm not sure if I mentioned it at the beginning, but I'll just say it again. I did start a new series, guys. Or I'm going to start a new series this week before February. I'm going to put it up on YouTube. But right now, I'm kind of just documenting everything. It's going to be the 100 to 1K Q1 or just yearly. We're going to see what I can make out of $100 throughout the year. When it comes to your watch list, how many pairs you got? Good question. So this is what I'm looking at for my funded challenges. Whenever I'm taking a prop firm, I'm honestly just trading the best pairs that I know, or any type of pair that follows price action. So this does look like a lot, but it's only for prop firms. So when I'm taking FTMO, I'm taking up all the opportunities I see on London session and New York session. But my most consistent pairs, like when it comes to New York session, I'm looking at gold, Euro USD, AUD USD, the GBP pairs, and what else do I look at? And USD CAD. So mainly USD pairs and GB. I can't say that word for some reason. The pound. So those are my main focuses. But honestly, I used to look at it as the more pairs you have, the worse, because it's taking up your focus on the minimal like setups that you usually look at. But the more pairs you have, the more opportunities. You just want to make sure you have a focus. Like a daily focus on like 4 pairs is fine. But if you have a really big watch list like this, it's perfectly fine. But just don't be all over the place. Like don't just have all these pairs and just keep on clicking through them. Like don't just, go crazy like this and like go in and out, because it's going to make you real crazy and then you're not going to have a bias in the market, right? But if you're very consistent, like if you're focusing on gold, you're able to have a strong analysis like this, and then you look at some other pairs, that's fine. But don't be all over the place, because it's going to shift your focus on setups. So I would say if you want to have a focus, if you're very like, what's the word? If you just want to have a few setups, I would say the best pairs are gold, Euro USD, Euro JPY, GBP USD, GBP AUD, and GBP USD. And of course, gold. But it all comes down to how you trade. A lot of people ask me that question, what are the best pairs to trade? You have to experiment. It's really up to your own liking. Just know that most of these pairs do follow price action. And it's also important to understand the sessions you trade, because I could trade gold, Euro USD, and if I trade Asian session, it's going to move completely different from London and New York. So London and New York are probably the best sessions you want to trade. So London being 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. early in the morning, and then New York being around this time, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. But it really runs till 12. But the most volatile times are around 6 to 8, in my opinion, because that's when the U.S. and London markets overlap. Let me know if you guys caught this setup, though. If you're watching this later, let me know in the comments. Hopefully you caught this with an understanding that this was at the 50% level on the daily fib. This being our daily resistance, price is moving down. Throughout the week, we're looking for a break of structure at this support, leading price to this nice demand on the 1 hour time frame to catch a bigger move. So that's what we're waiting for this week. But if gold does decide to push up, we would simply wait for a break of structure into range 3. Again, guys, if nothing that I talk about makes sense, please let me know. At the end of the day, I'm also a student. I'm learning as I go. How can I improve? How can I explain things easier? So just let me know. So we have about 20 more minutes. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask away. But in the meantime, I'll be right back. We have about 20 more minutes. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask away. But in the meantime, I'll be right back. Alrighty, I'm back. What is your history with NOS or US 30? I was trading both of those pairs my first year. I wasn't really good with NOS. I don't really trade indices, US 30 especially. I was trading a method off of CNBC, and it was working for some time. But what I noticed was most of my setups were very impulsive, and they weren't really following price action. So I don't even trade indices at the moment. Only trade gold. That's like the most volatile pair I trade right now. So only commodities. But looking back at gold, so price is pushing up, and I went ahead and checked the sentiment, and there's a lot of bullish pressure. So what we're actually going to do, we might just place a buy stop in case CPI has this nice break of structure, breaking our newly found resistance, pushing into our third range. So what I'll do is place a buy stop around this area, so that when price has a break of structure, it grabs all this liquidity right here, filling up this traffic also. So we're going to place a buy stop in a minute, just in case price decides to have a break of structure from CPI. And I'll explain more about this in a second. Let me find the, there we go. So we have a lot going on gold right now. So when it comes to probability, we have two options, right? Price is going to buy or sell, right? For any other pair, it's either going to buy or sell, pushing down or pushing up. So right now, gold is currently floating in range 2. If you guys caught this nice buy from this 50% fib, that's awesome, like most retail traders. But what we want to see happen is either price going to respect this range or price have a breakout. So what we're going to do is place a buy stop, making our stop loss an entry point pretty safe in case price decides to fluctuate or continue to range, and wait for a nice break of structure, taking out all these orders, right? Because there is liquidity at these 2 points from previous sellers. Also filling this traffic right here. So we have a nice clean move for 50 pips. This is 70 pips, but average would be around 50. And of course, throughout the week, if price decides to fail, we're going to grab the rest of this liquidity over here, or this bullish traffic, pushing down to our 1 hour demand zone, forming this nice market gap for a clean push for 150 pips and more. So I'm going to go ahead and place that buy stop in a second. I might write it out if it's confusing to you guys. If you guys need help, I'll write it out on the screen. But in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and do that for Discord and Telegram. So let me delete this. We can make this a nice 1 to 2. Let's make this 25 pips. And this can be 50. So this is why I said the average would be 50 pips, because most people would just close at the 50 pip mark or just break even. Notice how my entry isn't at that resistance, because like I said, this could just be a range. Like price could just form a nice range and go in and out like this for some time before deciding to have a break of structure to the downside or upside. So you don't want to have your buy stops or sell stops at that support or resistance line, because you could just get wicked out, right? So we're going to play real careful so that when we have a nice closure above our newly formed support, we know that price is going to continue up and fill the rest of this stuff up, or fill the rest of this price. So let's go ahead and write this out. Let me go ahead and send this to the Discord. Update. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and write this out for Telegram, and make sure everyone's good. So give me 1 second. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and ask. But this is my analysis for gold. If anything is confusing, just let me know. Georgiana Serban, how's it going? Thanks for joining. Hi, can you also write the values of your entry, stop loss, and take profit? Okay, I will for this morning, but in the future, what I think I'm gonna do is just explain more of my analysis so that you guys can get creative with your own entries. Just because the whole objective is to help you guys become independent and find your own system. But I will do that in a second. In the future, if you do need the coordinates, if you need more help, just simply let me know in the Discord. But just because it is time consuming, I want to make sure people are understanding price action more so of the coordinates. Because I am doing this by myself at the moment. If I had moderators, I probably would be able to have time so that nothing is missed. So let's see, this is a buy stop. What is this? Give me 1 second, guys. So we're gonna have this up throughout 8:30 as well, because again, guys, we have news at 8:30 on CAD and USD. So gold is definitely a USD pair, since it is a or XAU USD. So this is going to be incorporated for 8:30 news, okay? We have Empire State Manufacturing Index. Although CPI is mainly focused on CAD, we also have something for USD pairs, okay? So 8:30, this analysis is going to play out throughout the whole morning. So let me go ahead and finish writing this out. All right. We should be good to go. Actually, I'm not going to write it out. I'll just explain it so that in the future you'll understand what the coordinates are, so you know how to find them. So Georgiana, whenever I put a long position or a short position, look to the right of my screen and you can see these coordinates. If you can't see them, let me know. But usually in the green, that's where my take profit is. The red is my stop loss, okay? So 1916.888 would be my stop loss, and 1924.388 would be my take profit. 1919.388 is my entry. If you can't see them, I will type them out. But in the future, that's where my coordinates would be located, to the right of my screen. The red is my stop loss, the gray is my entry, and the green is my take profit. If it's a screen issue, like if you can't see the numbers because of the screen, just let me know. But just because my lives are, at the moment, it's pretty time consuming, I want to make sure I cover everything for my live streams. Hopefully that's reasonable. So we have about 5 more minutes. I might start a workshop or we might end early. But again, if you guys are new, thanks for tapping in. Make sure you guys join the Discord. Future analysis will be posted there after I'm off the lives. And make sure you guys are following my Instagram. I will be posting the most important clips from the live streams in case you're dipping in and dipping out. We have a new series coming out this week, and I will be posting these timestamps for my lives, so you guys can skip to the best parts, the most valuable parts, I guess. But yeah, this morning I simply just analyzed gold. Hopefully all this stuff makes sense, guys. The objective is to make sure you guys understand everything so that you can be independent on the charts. You don't have to rely on anyone, including me. Well, this was a nice full breakdown on high probability, top-down analysis, BOS, all that good stuff. Also, real quick, I'm not sure if you guys can see that. I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but basically, most people, especially the beginner trader, when you're in your MetaTrader 4 or MetaTrader 5 app, when you're trying to place a buy stop or a buy limit, you got to go to market execution at the top and switch it to buy stop, because it's automatically going to be a market execution. You have to switch it. Buy stop being the continuation of price, buy limit being the retracement, sell stop being the continuation of price, sell limit being the retracement, okay? I'm pretty sure I made a video last year and all that, or no, it's not a public video. It's a course. It's a course video I made, but I might make it public and put it out on YouTube so you guys aren't confused. A full breakdown on what these orders means. Let's go ahead and place this. So we are going to continue this series. This will be posted sometime this weekend or before February, but we're starting a new series, guys. This is the 100 to 1K quarter one or year. I'm not sure if I'm going to make it specifically for 2 quarters, I guess quarter one and quarter two, or we're just going to do a flip challenge throughout the year. We'll see. We'll see where we're at by the end of quarter one. But so far, so good. Let's delete this. It's probably one of the best trading journals I've made so far. What is it? AM. What is this? Yeah, liquid, buy stop, yes, let's do trade, 8. Whoa. I gotta modify this. Give me 1 second, guys. If you guys have any questions about my analysis, make sure you guys ask before the live stream ends. Otherwise, you're going to have to ask the remaining questions in Discord once I'm off. $19.38 stop loss. Stop loss is okay. I think I'm good. Georgiana, do you still need the values of my stop loss and take profit, or are you good to go? If not, just let me know. But this is the setup I have for gold. If you guys did not place this order, that's perfectly fine. My whole objective is to explain analysis and break down charts so that you guys have a full understanding of price action. But I do have a buy stop place right here at range 3 at the moment. And of course, throughout the week, if price does fail and decide to come back into range 1, we could catch a nice sell stop, a sell continuation, or just wait for this demand entry. But currently, since we have news in the next hour, we're going to wait for an impulsive spike to the upside, or price is going to remain in range 2. Yeah, so what I'll do, I'll stay for the next 20 minutes. We'll do the workshop tomorrow. But since this was a slow morning, we only had one focus. We're just going to stay on gold. But yeah, I'd love to know how your year is going. If you guys are having a good year so far, let me know. What are your goals? What are you trying to accomplish, especially in Q1? What's your main focus? I would love to get some insight on what you guys are up to. It doesn't have to be Forex related. It doesn't have to be trading related. It can just be about life in general. What are you guys trying to accomplish this year? So we have about 10 more minutes. Next 15-minute interval, we'll see what gold is doing. But in the meantime, I'm chilling. Thank you. Yes, this was a problem. Could not see your values on the screen. I see the lines, but cannot see the values. Okay, I'll write it out. All right, so hopefully you can see that. Entry 1919.388, stop loss 1916.888, TP2 1924.388. Jay Simons, thanks for tuning in, brother. I hope you're having a good morning. Glad to see people hopping on the streams. Your goal is to get funded this year. Hey, man, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Just stay focused. Practice. If you have to take 2 months in a demo account, practice on your system, your strategy. Take the free trial, and work on your psychology, especially your psychology. I think I posted a video. It was either the last night or the other night, but it's an update on phase 2. One of the main reason why I was struggling with phase 2 was because of my psychology. So I will be taking that again sometime in Q1. or I'll just wait till quarter 4 again. But getting funded is not the question. The question is, do you have a good mindset? Are you disciplined? Do you have good psychology? Are you going to be patient, you know? Because these prop firms are always going to be there, I'm telling you. Yes, sir. By the end of this year, bro, we're both going to be funded, okay? Guaranteed. Just keep tuning in, bro. I'm going to be consistent all year. If you need help, I got you. But definitely just take your time, bro. The market's not going anywhere. But if you rush the process, you're going to fail. I would definitely watch the video I posted last night. Let me be a live example. Let me be the person to show you the errors, I guess. Learn from my mistakes. I'm going to take all the L's so that people that are watching me can take all the W's. That's funny as hell. Georgiana, can you see those coordinates? Is it big enough? Like I said, I don't have any moderators right now to tell me, so you're just gonna have to let me know if you can see those values on the screen. If you need me to read them out, I can, but that's the buy stop on gold. Also, Jay Simons, make sure you join the Discord because I'm going to be live only from 6 to 8, and then for this example, if we have news like at 8:30, I'll send any type of analysis in the Discord so you don't miss out on any setups. You can find the link in the description, I'm pretty sure. And then, of course, later today, I'm going to put in timestamps. I'm going to rewatch this live so that if you guys want to watch these certain parts, you can with ease. And I will be chopping up some clips and I'll post them on Instagram. Okay, cool. I'll go ahead and make you a member. Just make sure you read the rules. What's your name on Discord? Let me know your name on Discord and I'll make you a member. So again, guys, price is doing exactly what I wanted to do right now. It's kind of retracing off of that 50% on this bearish fib that I can clearly see on the 1 hour, right? If we place a fib right here, you can clearly see price is pushing down. So we're waiting for one or two things. We want price to have a continuation to come into range 3, or we want price to fail. We're not going to place a sell stop, or we're gonna wait for a bullish continuation. So either way, we're looking for buys, right? We're not going to try to be aggressive. If price melts and comes into range 1, that's perfect. But we're not going to play it aggressive. We're going to wait until it hits this demand zone so we can have a nice entry to the upside, catching 150 pips or more. And again, if price decides to continue up, especially past 8:30, we're simply going to wait for a break of structure into range 3. That's the objective this morning. But right now, we're going to play the patient game. All right. Ace 1 FX. Okay. I think I saw you. I'm going to make you a member right now. All right, you should be good to go. You should have access to all the chats and the servers. Let me know if you can't see anything. And again, I'm going to be live Monday through Thursday. You can click on that bell. It's going to notify you every time I'm live so you don't miss out on anything. And of course, if you do miss out on any lives, I'm recording everything and I'll just clip up important parts and put them on Instagram. Or you can always just watch them later on and I'll have timestamps in the videos. But we have about 15 more minutes. I'm just gonna chill for the last 15 minutes. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them. But today was a pretty good morning. Today's focus was on gold. I went over some concepts, went over my setups. If you guys caught this nice move to the upside for 50 pips, that's awesome off this daily 50% fib. But in the meantime, we're going to be chilling as we wait for gold to play out throughout the week. We did not catch any entries, or I personally didn't catch any entries. But if you guys caught this move, that's awesome. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and delete this. If you guys still need it up, just let me know. Or if you need the entries, if you can't see the numbers, just let me know. So the news at 8:30 for USD pairs is the Empire State Manufacturing Index. And I actually didn't read this, but if you guys want more information why traders care, it's a leading indicator of economic health. Businesses react quickly to market conditions and changes in their sentiment, and can be an early signal of future economic activity such as spending, hiring, and investment. Okay, so this kind of gives you a more fundamental perspective on what's going on in the market and how to incorporate that into your technical analysis so you have an understanding of what price is doing. And then down here, it's also called New York Manufacturing Index. So that's going on at 8:30. All right. And I know this is common knowledge for the experienced trader. For those of you that are new, especially this year, the color of the folders, right, just indicate the volatility. So red being the most volatile, orange being average, and then yellow and gray, nothing's really happening. Especially gray, it's usually a bank holiday. So red folder indicates volatility, meaning something's going to happen in the market. You'll see that usually on NFP. So again, guys, I'm not going to be aggressive. If price pushes into range 1, we're not going to look for sells. We're going to wait until we have this nice demand entry, so that we can catch this nice market gap. So either way, we're looking for buys. We have a buy stop, and then we have a buy limit, I guess. So last couple of minutes, you guys can share some of your goals. Otherwise, we're just going to chill and watch the last couple of minutes. But getting funded is definitely a huge goal that I'm pushing towards a lot of traders, not just myself. But there's so many things to accomplish in this industry. I think that's kind of like the last piece of the puzzle, like I mentioned in my last video. It's kind of like your certificate, you know? It's like you've been doing it for a long time. You want to test your skills, and you're looking for something that's like more of a career, like to do it for a long period of time. Getting funded is something I believe will push that career-wise, because it allows you to take this more serious and really schedule your times of trading. Get out where I live. Trading goals 5 pips a day. Nah. Let's push 10. Let's push 10. Where are you from? XC. I believe that's your name. Where are you from? On the right funded account can mean living out of this. Oh, okay. Okay, I mean, 5 pips a day is okay. Me personally, I'm not a scalper. I don't believe I am a scalper, but you would have to transition to a scalper if you're catching those type of pips. So that would be on the 15-minute, 5-minute time frame. Haiti. You don't like it over there? If you're having or how do I put this in the words? If you don't like where you're from, or you don't like your situation, use this as motivation. Let trading be your motivator factor to be consistent and take it as serious as possible this whole year, so that you can get out those situations. Because I promise you, once you do get out that situation, if you don't like it over there, it's going to feel so rewarding. So use that negative indicator as motivation. And I promise you, you're going to take this really serious. I promise you. Some of the best traders I know came from the worst situations. I can't name a single trader that's always had it, you know, that's been okay from day one. I can't. Every single successful trader I know that I'm close with has been through the worst situations. But we have about 8 more minutes. I'm gonna end stream. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to ask them. Hopefully this all made sense. Hopefully this live was successful. Meeting. Hopefully you guys learned something. Hopefully it was helpful. And if you have any questions, just reach out to me on Instagram, on Discord. Damn, open a tab and type what is going in Haiti to see. Okay. It's not anything crazy, is it? I'll type it on my phone because I don't want YouTube to take this video down in case it's anything crazy. All right, I'm going to read the first thing that popped up. Gangs have overrun parts of the country, kidnapping citizens and foreigners and putting up blockades to stop the flow of critical supplies like fresh water and food. A new outbreak has killed hundreds as hospitals have struggled to provide. That's horrible. I'm sorry to hear. That's absolutely horrible. I hope you're safe, honestly. That's horrible. Like I said, use this as motivation to get out that situation as soon as possible. Here's no joke, Lonnie, but I'm really trying to stay sane and work on trading. I hope it gets better for you. That's absolutely horrible, and I'm sorry. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and recap this real quick, and we're gonna end stream. So starting out with TDA, right? Top-down analysis on the daily time frame. On the daily time frame, guys, you can clearly see that price is at this significant area of resistance, right? We look at previous structure, price is going in and out. We have a lot of candles wicking off of this support, and then it comes back over here with our newly formed resistance, and price is reacting off of that on the daily time frame. We also come to FX Street using our fundamental analysis. We had this announcement come out on gold, basically indicating that price is going to push down. Reading this last sentence, the XAU USD gold remains depressed heading into the European session. So when you see these keywords like depressed, what do you think about? Buying or selling? I think about selling. Let's look at the chart. On the daily time frame, our current candlestick is red, meaning it's selling, right? So going to the 4-hour time frame, we're looking for a retracement. We're looking for a significant area to buy or sell in the market, knowing that price is selling off of our daily resistance. Okay, let's look at the 50% level on our fib. So here on the 4-hour time frame, if we place a fib on the bottom of this bullish candle to the top, this would be at the 50% level, which a lot of traders are hopping into. A lot of retail traders use this Fibonacci sequence or the Fibonacci concept to catch these retracements. So people are buying at that 50% level, but I'm playing devil's advocate because again, there's two sides of every coin. So because a lot of people are hopping in, it's generating a lot of liquidity to the downside. So imagine a whole bunch of people are hopping in right here. It's accumulating a lot of liquidity, right? And because we have this bullish candle, this bullish traffic, all of this hasn't been filled yet. So not only will we have a fail of price, we'll have a liquidity grab to the downside as it fills the rest of this candle. So down on the 1-hour time frame, you can clearly see this nice demand zone right here. So not only will we have a market gap, but we'll have a nice demand entry to the upside. So I'm playing devil's advocate. If price decides to fail, we're going to wait for this nice demand entry. If price decides to have a continuation and push towards news, we're going to wait for this break of structure into range 3 to fill all this up right here. Okay, so we have two sides of the coin. We have a failure of price down to range 1, catching a entry to our demand, or we have a continuation, a break of structure, filling up all this right here to have a continuation. Range 1, range 2, and range 3. All right. So that's what I'm going to be looking at throughout the week on gold. And we're going to see what happens tomorrow. But in the moment, we do have news at 8:30. I'm not going to be live, but I will send out any chart analysis into the Discord. In order to see those analyses, you have to become a member. In order to become a member, you have to read the rules and just reach out to me or click on the emoji. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and end stream. Hope you guys had a good morning. Again, I hope this was helpful. I will leave timestamps later out today. And I want you guys to enjoy the rest of your morning. Rinse and repeat tomorrow, 6 a.m., 8 a.m. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one. I'm out.